It's funny how some companies just nail it when it comes to keeping their people happy at work.
Yeah,
Like genuinely excited to be there,
right.
not just chasing a paycheck.
Totally.
Seems like they found some secret sauce for motivation.
It's true.
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, let's get into it.
You send us some really great material all about this employee motivation thing.
Oh, yeah?
We've got stuff on financial strategies, non-financial strategies,
Mm.
even a case study on Sunrise.
Oh, wow, the rice company.
Rice Food Company, exactly.
That's cool. I'm interested to see how that all plays out, especially in an industry as competitive as food.
Right. I know. It's fascinating.
Mm.
One thing I'm super curious about is this whole idea that
Right.
for employees who are already making good money,
Yeah.
non-financial motivators could actually work better than just throwing more cash at them.
Interesting.
Like, does that even make sense?
It might sound a little counterintuitive at first,
It does.
but there's this research in financial and non-financial employee motivation strategies.
Okay.
And it basically says that for a lot of employees, especially the ones who are already, comfortable financially,
Mm-hmm.
things like feeling a sense of purpose at work
Right.
or getting recognition or having opportunities to grow,
Yeah.
those can be even more motivating than like a bonus or a raise.
See, now that you say it that way, it makes sense.
Right.
We all want to feel like our work actually matters,
Absolutely.
like we're making a difference.
It's true.
So what are some of those specific things, those non-financial motivators that companies should be paying attention to?
Well, the research points to 4 main areas.
Okay.
So first, it's regular attention from the people in charge,
Okay.
leadership, right?
Okay.
And I don't just mean like the yearly performance review, that's not enough. It's
Okay.
got to be those one-on-one conversations,
Mm-hmm.
making individual action plans with people,
Okay.
really showing employees that their manager is invested in them developing and growing,
Yeah.
not just in how much they're producing,
It's like feeling seen and heard.
Exactly.
Like you're not just another number on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, you're a person.
Do you think that's something that gets overlooked a lot?
I think so.
Especially now with everyone moving so fast?
I think in a lot of companies, managers are so focused on hitting their targets,
Uh-huh.
meeting deadlines,
Yeah.
they kind of forget to just connect with their people.
On a human level.
Yeah, just like talk to them.
Right, right.
The research also talks about praise and recognition.
Oh, yeah.
The big motivator.
Is that really that important, though?
It
Seems so basic.
might sound simple,
Yeah.
but just a genuine thank you.
Mm.
Or even acknowledging someone's good work publicly,
Okay.
that can really go a long way. It
Yeah.
can boost morale.
Makes people feel valued.
Exactly, you feel
It doesn't have to be this big thing
No, it really doesn't.
or a huge financial reward.
Right, even small things make a difference.
Like just little moments that can make someone's day.
Right, exactly.
It's like when someone genuinely notices your effort
Uh-huh, exactly.
and they appreciate it.
Yeah.
So speaking of feeling valued,
Okay.
another non-financial motivator is responsibility.
Okay.
So giving employees more ownership over what they do,
Right.
empowering them to make decisions,
Yeah.
that can tap into their sense of purpose.
I think so.
Make them feel like they're really contributing.
Like they matter.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see how that would be motivating.
absolutely. It's about having a stake in what's going on
Yeah.
and feeling like you're a part of something bigger.
Totally.
Okay, so we've got regular attention from leadership. We've got praise and recognition.
Mm-hmm.
We've got responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fourth one?
Okay, so the fourth one.
Okay.
This one's really interesting. It's
Okay.
all about providing work that's creative and challenging
Oh, okay.
and varied.
So not just like a fun work environment.
It's more than that. It's
Yeah.
about giving people a chance to really use their skills,
Yeah.
learn new things,
Okay.
tackle projects that are stimulating
Right. And meaningful.
and meaningful. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes total sense, especially these days
Mm.
where it's all about knowledge.
Uh-huh.
People want more than just a paycheck.
Right.
They want to feel fulfilled,
They want to be challenged.
challenged.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the thing. If these non-financial motivators work so well,
Mm-hmm.
why aren't more companies doing this?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Like, what are the roadblocks?
Well, the research talks about a couple of key barriers.
Okay.
One is just like traditional management thinking.
Okay.
They often just default to money as the main motivator.
It's like, if you want people to work harder, you just pay them more.
Exactly. It's very transactional. It's like,
Mhm.
you do the work, I give you cash, end of story.
It's very old school.
It is.
But it sounds like that's not really cutting it anymore.
No, not if you want to attract good people.
Especially if you want to keep them.
Keep them. Yeah, that's the key.
What was the other barrier?
Okay, the second barrier is that putting these non-financial strategies in place,
Yeah.
it takes more time and commitment from the managers.
Right.
It's not just something you can check off a list.
Yeah.
It's about actually building relationships with people, having real conversations,
Okay.
providing support
Yeah.
and feedback consistently.
So it's a shift in mindset, really,
That is.
and an investment in developing those leadership skills.
Absolutely.
It's not just telling people what to do.
Right.
It's about empowering them.
Empowering them to do their best.
I can see how that would be a hard sell for some companies,
It can be.
but it seems like the potential payoff is huge.
I think so.
More engagement, better productivity.
And even innovation, right?
Absolutely.
When people are motivated, they come up with new ideas.
It's like a win-win.
It is a win-win for everyone.
Speaking of companies that seem to be getting this right,
Yeah.
let's talk about that Sunrise case study you mentioned.
Okay, sounds good.
The one from Contemporary Case Study. Motivating employees at Sunrise. What are they doing that's so special?
Sunrise is a really good example of a company that blends those financial and non-financial motivators
Okay.
to create a workforce that's both high-performing and engaged.
So how do they approach this? Walk me through some of their strategies.
All right, so on the financial side,
Okay.
they have performance-related pay.
Okay, so that means,
It means that employees have a direct incentive
yeah,
to contribute to the company's success.
makes sense. Like,
It's a way of rewarding people for their individual contributions,
yeah,
which can be really motivating, especially when you're focused on results.
it's like saying we're all in this together and your hard work really matters.
That's a good way to put it.
But they don't just focus on individual reward.
No, they don't.
They have something that builds a sense of collective ownership.
Yeah, they do. They have an employee share scheme.
Oh, so employees can actually own a part of the company.
That's right. They literally share in the profits.
That's awesome.
It gets everyone on the same page.
Yeah, everyone working towards the same goal.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the financial side. What about the non-financial side?
Right.
What are some of the things Sunrise does to motivate people
Okay. Well,
beyond just the money part?
one really cool example
Yeah.
is the Jen Cathcart Scholarship Program.
Okay, what's that?
It supports female shareholders,
Oh, wow.
growers, employees,
Okay,
and their families, too,
interesting.
if they're passionate about the rice industry.
So it's not just about financial assistance.
Right.
It's about building a community,
It is. It's about that sense of belonging.
which is super motivating.
It can be. Yeah.
It's like they're investing in their people,
That's right.
creating opportunities for growth,
Exactly.
both
That's right.
professionally and personally.
That's the key. It's a holistic approach.
It's not just about work, it's about their whole lives.
Exactly.
And the main point here
Yeah.
is that Sunrise is intentionally linking employee motivation
Okay.
with achieving their business goals.
Yeah, they're smart like that.
It's a win-win.
A total win-win.
Employees feel good,
Yeah.
and the company gets a more engaged and productive workforce.
Exactly. Everyone benefits.
Now, I know we also had that example from Telstra.
Right. From the first source.
I'm curious to see how they handle motivation,
Yeah.
especially since they're such a big established company.
They are.
I'm sure they've learned a thing or two over the years.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so tell me about Telstra.
Well, Telstra's another good example
Yeah.
of a company that gets the importance of both financial and non-financial incentives.
Okay.
They offer all kinds of perks:
Like what?
competitive salaries,
Mm-hmm.
generous leave policies,
Oh.
flexible work arrangements,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I noticed they've got this company-wide rewards program
Yeah. Yeah.
called Appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about?
That's a good question.
Is it just another one of those point systems?
It's actually more than that.
Okay.
Appreciate is designed to create a culture of, well, appreciation.
So it's not just coming from the managers.
No, it's peer-to-peer.
Oh, okay.
Employees can give each other kudos for good work.
Oh, that's cool.
And that can really help with teamwork and camaraderie.
Yeah, it's more meaningful coming from your colleagues.
It can be, definitely.
And it all ties back to what we were talking about before.
Good deal.
Those small gestures of appreciation, they really can make a difference.
Absolutely, it all adds up.
Yeah, it all helps to create a positive and motivating environment.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've seen how Sunrise and Telstra are doing things,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm curious to get your take on this.
Okay.
If you were starting a company from scratch,
Interesting.
what one non-financial motivator would you focus on,
That's a great question.
and why?
It's a tough one, too. There's
Yeah.
no one right answer.
Right.
But if I had to choose just one, I'd say fostering a really strong sense of purpose.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Why not?
we've been talking about recognition, growth opportunities,
Right.
challenging work.
Yeah, all important stuff.
What makes purpose stand out to you?
I think it's because a strong sense of purpose.
Okay.
It's kind of like the foundation for all those other things.
Okay.
When people really believe in the work they're doing and they understand how it fits into a bigger goal,
Yeah,
it gives them this deeper level of motivation.
that makes sense.
It goes way beyond just finishing tasks or
Wow.
getting rewards.
It's about connecting the dots
exactly.
between the everyday stuff and the big picture.
Yeah, helping people see how their work is making a difference.
That's powerful.
It is. It really is.
Think about the people you know who are super passionate about their jobs. They're often driven by this deep belief in what they're doing.
Totally.
They want to make a positive impact.
It's not just about the paycheck for them.
Right. They're showing up to make a difference.
Exactly.
So it's that intrinsic motivation,
Yeah.
that feeling of being part of something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about external stuff.
Right.
It comes from within.
It does.
But how do you actually build that in a workplace?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of companies are trying to figure that out.
Can you just tell people to have a sense of purpose?
You can't force it.
Right.
It has to be genuine.
Okay.
And it has to line up with the company's values.
So it starts from the top.
It does.
The company itself needs to have a clear purpose,
Right. Knowing what they stand for.
what they're trying to achieve,
Yeah. Their mission.
and then communicating that to the employees,
Exactly.
helping them see how their work contributes.
Making those connections.
Imagine that means giving people a voice, too.
I did.
Making them feel like they're part of the decision-making.
Yeah. Empowering them.
Giving them autonomy
That's a big one.
to actually make a difference.
Yeah. And that's where things like challenging work assignments come in.
Okay.
And opportunities for growth.
Right, so they can stretch themselves.
When people feel trusted and they have a chance to really contribute,
Yeah.
their sense of purpose gets stronger.
So it's all about creating that environment
It
where
is
people feel valued,
valued, empowered.
connected to something bigger.
Absolutely. And that's what gets people excited to come to work.
It's not about just telling people what to do,
It's about inspiring them.
inspiring them to do their best.
And that's what true leadership is all about.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about these non-financial motivators, but we can't forget about the financial side completely, right?
Right. Money still matters.
People need to pay their bills. They
Absolutely.
need to feel like they're being paid fairly,
It's fundamental.
especially for basic needs, that sense of security.
Exactly. But like we saw in the research, once those needs are met,
Yeah.
it's the non-financial things that become more powerful.
It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah, you got it.
You get the basics covered. Then you start looking for something more.
You want purpose, fulfillment, belonging.
Yeah, exactly.
And the companies that really get motivation, they understand that it's about more than just the money.
It's about the whole package.
They create a work environment where people feel valued,
Challenged.
connected to a larger purpose.
And that benefits everyone.
It does.
The employees, the company.
Even society as a whole.
I mean, wouldn't you rather work for a company
Of course.
that's doing good in the world?
Makes a difference.
It's a win-win-win.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today.
We have
From the research on motivators to real-world examples.
Sunrise, Telstra.
Yeah, but what's sticking out to you the most from all of this?
That's a good question.
What are some of the key takeaways for our listener?
I think the biggest one is motivation isn't one size fits all.
Right. What works for one person
Might not work for another.
or one company
Exactly. It's about finding the right mix.
for your specific situation.
Yeah, for your context, your culture.
So don't just copy what other companies are doing.
Right. You got to understand your own people
What makes them tick?
and then tailor your approach.
That takes some effort.
It does.
And it takes a willingness to experiment,
To try new things.
to feedback.
Absolutely. Constantly adjusting and improving.
There's no magic formula,
Nope.
but there are definitely some best practices.
Some guiding principles.
And it sounds like one of those key principles
Yeah.
is moving beyond that transactional way of thinking.
You do this, I give you that mentality.
Yeah. And focusing on creating a work environment,
That's more holistic.
more purpose-driven.
Exactly.
It's about investing in your people,
Giving them a voice.
empowering them to make a difference.
When you do that, you create a culture of engagement
Innovation.
and ultimately success.
So it really is a journey,
It is.
not a destination.
You got it.
It takes constant effort
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to adapt and change.
It's true. The companies that do really well these days,
Yeah.
they're the ones that put their people first
Right.
and create a culture where everyone feels valued.
And empowered to contribute.
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked about some great examples, but I'm wondering,
Okay.
what are some common traps companies fall into
Oh, good question.
when it comes to motivation?
Yeah, what are the things that backfire?
What actually demotivates people?
I think one of the biggest mistakes
Okay.
is trying to use that one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
We've been talking about how everyone's different.
Mm.
What motivates one person might not do anything for someone else.
Totally.
So you really need to understand the individual needs of your employees.
Take the time to get to know your team
Yeah, figure out what drives them.
and then tailor your approach.
Exactly. Another big pitfall
Yeah.
is not following through on promises.
Oh, that's a classic.
If you tell your employees you value their input, but then you ignore their suggestions,
Yeah.
it's a recipe for disaster.
People feel disillusioned.
They feel resentful.
It's like that saying,
Oh,
actions speak louder than words.
right, exactly.
You can say you empower your employees all you want, but if you don't back it up with action,
Yeah, it's meaningless.
it's just empty talk.
Totally.
What other mistakes do you see?
Let's see. Oh, this is a big one.
Okay.
Not providing enough training and development opportunities.
Yeah.
Employees want to learn new skills.
They want to grow.
If you don't give them that chance,
They get bored.
they get disengaged.
It's almost like you're saying,
Yeah.
we don't believe in you enough to invest in you.
Ouch. That's gotta hurt.
Not a good message.
Definitely not. You want to show your people
Hmm.
that you believe in them.
That you're willing to invest in their future.
Exactly. That's motivating.
It seems like so much of this boils down to trust.
It really does.
Employees need to trust their leaders.
Absolutely.
Trust that they have their best interests at heart.
It's the foundation of any good relationship.
Employer, employee included.
Of course, you have to build that trust.
And that takes time.
For effort.
But it's worth it.
Definitely.
Well, this has been a fascinating look into employee motivation.
It has.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface, though.
There's always more to learn.
But we've given our listeners some great insights
I hope so.
to create a more engaging and motivating workplace.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And remember, it's not about finding that one perfect solution.
It's about the big picture.
Taking a holistic approach.
Understanding your people.
Creating a culture where everyone feels valued
And empowered.
and inspired to do their best.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And never underestimate the power of a simple thank you.
It's true. Appreciation goes a long way.
So as we wrap things up here, what's one final thought you want to leave our listener with?
I'd say remember that motivation is a journey. It's not a destination.
It's ongoing.
It takes effort
Experimentation.
and a willingness to adapt
But the rewards are huge.
for everyone.
Couldn't agree more.
Glad to hear it.
Thanks for sharing your insights with us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listener,
Yeah.
we hope you found this deep dive helpful.
And inspiring.
Keep learning, keep growing.
Keep creating a work environment where everyone can thrive.
That's what it's all about.